Okay. Well, we'll call the meeting to
Oh,
order.
there it is.
We'll call the meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting? And if so, is there a motion to approve?
There was only,
I don't think
we didn't have any. There was only a few of us here.
We didn't have a quorum.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
never mind. That's why it wasn't in the paperwork.
Right, yeah.
Just good
I put a
discussion.
little asterisk on there just to bring that up for the agenda.
I printed out the agenda, but then I failed to bring my copy, so you're gonna share that with me?
You
Thank you. The financials?
You guys get a copy from Tyler, emailed them to you guys?
Yes.
Do you guys have any questions?
Just for my education.
Yes, sir.
There's a column called encumbered on the income statement. I'm just curious what that meant, because there's only one line item that's got any money in the encumbered column. I just don't know what it is or what encumbered means.
I know what encumbered means.
Usually
It's
means-
spoken for.
Means it's committed.
Yeah, it's committed to
Okay,
Those
something.
funds. are
Well, it's just
basically-
collateral for something.
So
And it's in
like some sort of
operating
deferred
costs.
expense.
Yeah, in like governmental accounting, I mean, when funds are encumbered, they are committed for a specific thing.
Ah,
There's only like
that's a
5,000 in your
different
budget.
definition than the
Yeah.
legal definition
Yeah.
I'm used to.
Yeah, so it's in the operating cost column, so it's some kind of a prepaid, probably a prepaid or something that's been committed. There's been a PO or something, but it just hadn't been paid.
Okay.
It's just letting you know you can't
Pull
can't-
from that
you
line.
can't use that for anything else.
I just hadn't seen that before, and I was just curious what it meant. Okay. And on,
News to me too. Thanks for education.
I don't mind asking the dumb questions. And also, there's an abbreviation OPEB used a lot on the balance sheet.
On revenue, so it's a negative.
OPEB.
But then we're.
Is that operating budget or?
Revenue excessive expenses?
I was trying to
Where do you see that?
Okay, I'm looking at the balance sheet, deferred outflows of resources, OPEB. Deferred inflow of resources, OPEB.
I'd have to ask Tyler. I'll ask him.
Is that in the footnotes of the financial
On
statements?
the balance?
No, it's just on the balance
I should just
sheet.
balance
stand
sheet.
for it.
Yeah, it's the second
I'll ask him.
from the bottom on the assets. This is the first one.
Okay, so the deferred inflows and deferred outflow of resources, that's a new accounting pronouncement that's related to pension plans. And so you have to declare liabilities or assets based on deferred inflow. I mean, that is a new pronouncement that came in probably 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
It's confusing as all get out,
But
but it's required.
does OPEB mean anything to you?
Yeah, other post-retirement employee benefits is what that stands for.
I'll say it again.
Other post-retirement employee benefits.
Post-retirement.
Yes, sir.
Post-employment benefits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Post-employment, yeah.
Well, that makes perfect sense then.
Yeah. That's
So
what
it's
that,
somebody's retirement plan, retirement.
it is a liability that you put on the books as a commitment to make sure that you can fund those
Sure.
retirement benefits.
Okay, so it's more of an employee expense.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's in accordance with governmental accounting? Is that what you're-
Yes, sir. Well, all accounting. Well, actually, I guess probably, in governmental, that was a fairly new pronouncement because I guess for-profits, investor-owned businesses had to do that anyway. But if you think about, this is probably a way that more than anybody wants to know about accounting. But if you think about cities in particular, in cities that have had trouble financially, Stockton, California, Detroit, Michigan, those were often because of unsustainable pension plans, retirement benefits. That's really what made those cities declare bankruptcy. And so the Government Accounting Standards Board said, we probably ought to require some sort of disclosure so decision makers can understand what those liabilities that are coming will likely be. And so it doesn't necessarily change the amount of money you have to put into the pension plan. You just have to disclose what those obligations are. And so that's why you have those disclosures on the balance sheet.
So the city does this, and that's probably just allocated for the employees you have.
That's correct.
Gotcha. Just first.
Great question.
Thanks.
Thanks for asking.
You bet.
I didn't know either.
Herein ends my list of questions.
How was the answer?
That's good.
Really?
Well done.
Oh, okay. I was just checking.
Yeah.
Great to have an
I was just making up as I went.
It sounded good.
I'm familiar with it because we had to do this.
We totally
had to
bought
do-
it, whatever you
We
said.
had to do the same thing at Conway Court. We had to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So, and when you look at our financials, it has the same disclosures on there.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have to admit, the use of parentheses here, it drives me insane. Because it's, the use of a parentheses is a positive on the revenue line, but it's a negative on the expense line. But it's but it's also a negative on the net line. So I'm not used to, so I'm having to train my brain to read it, but it shows that we are, so we are up $178,000 on fuel sales for the period, right? So budget to date, year to date against budget. Add, 20 grand to that, 18 grand to that for sales tax. But we're over budget on fuel by 386,000.
Yep.
So we're over budget more on the expense than we are on the, I mean, I would expect to be over for
Yeah.
some.
So that'll be the fuel in our tanks that we haven't sold yet
Gotcha. Okay.
and in our trucks.
Okay. So the difference between the 386 and the 177 is the fuel on hand.
That's right.
It's
Got it.
inventory, basically.
That's right.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense.
That was a tough one to understand.
Yeah.
I got there. It was like,
Yeah.
it's not the same thing.
Got it.
But
Okay.
that's what we have on hand and things like that.
And the second page is fund balance appropriations. There's 3 items that happened in October. No, the ordinance numbers are
Yeah.
different. Are these additional things the city council put in your budget
That's right.
since it was blessed?
Yes.
Okay.
So
So you got another
those were all
52
the
grand
ones for
over
the year.
throughout the year.
That we use for those things.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see. Also, you spoke on the sales tax for our sales tax for aviation fuel, which is everything that we have out there. The majority of that, as Jeff can talk on probably better than I can, will go back to the state aviation programs. Not all of those. And Robbie's a big fighter for that with his lawyer side that he does. He's a big proponent of trying to get all of those funds to go back to the airports. But so all of our sales tax we're paying in, just for aviation knowledge, goes back into the hangar grants and the stuff that the state gives us.
I believe it's 4 out of the 6%.
4 out of 6.
4% goes back. That's so when we, the Aeronautics Commission, when we grant 90-10 hangar grants, 90%, 10% hangar grants, or 80-20 infrastructure grants to airports, that comes out of the 4%. The other 2%, the other 1% of the other 2 goes to roads and our highway department and transportation department, and the other 1% goes to the general fund. And so there's some push there. And I've actually had some conversations with Jerry Chisholm, the director of the Department of Aeronautics, about working with Robbie and others to try to get the governor to release that other 2% to go back to, to the
Aviation.
Aeronautics Commission for distribution. But
So
not likely that will happen, but we'd love to, especially with them reducing, corporate income taxes and personal income tax and what have you, then, but we're working to try to do that. But yeah, all the money that's out there that the airport can apply for various infrastructure improvements and hangar grants, whatever, comes out of that sales tax money.
So
I move to approve the report, financial report.
financial report.
Second.
Okay, we have a second and a third. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And we just got to remember this for the next meeting, what we just learned.
Yes.
Fuel sales?
yeah, so I sent the all of last year. This month, as you were talking about weather before this, it's gonna be super slow. About a few weeks of terrible runway was closed for a week and things like that. So I'm not expecting a big month starting off here, but it'll get better. As you guys saw, I mean, we did 10,000 gallons more of 100 low lead fuel, 10,500 than 2022, which are our small piston airplanes. And then jet gas was 70,000 gallons more than 2022. So all really good things. I'm going to really try to focus more this year. I think that's about where we're going to be. I think that's all we can manage is about 350 with our crew and our schedule and things like that. We're not a 24-hour operations, and not very many regional city-run airports are. So,
Was last year the first full year that we were part of CAA?
yes,
Yeah.
Yep.
And so 25% increase
that's right.
in fuel sales, Jet A.
2022 was, excuse me.
Oh,
We got
2022
it
was.
in 2021.
Okay. But, okay, I got it. All right, good.
So that, in our contract with those group, that CA, we have to be we have to offer that fuel for CAA members 10 cents lower than any advertised price in the field. I try to look at other airports with both my low lead and avgas and be more aggressive and get them in there. So I'm going to loosen that up a little bit more and try to get some more money out of that this year. So I'm going to look at that pretty heavy this year for the fuel. So I expect our numbers to be about the same, somewhere around 350 for gallons for jet. And then our avgas will be about the same right there, around 60 to 70, where it's been the past 2 years.
Because there's more jets coming when that new hangar gets done, but that's out there a ways, right?
Which new hangar?
Yeah, I was reading your report.
Yeah, so Robbie's building a hangar. He's going to use it for his operation out there with the mechanics, and he's going to sublease some spaces as well. And I was going to get to that on here. I had another Conway businessman is wanting to lease a hangar or lease a ground and build 100 by 100. And then UCA starting off will burn more avgas. So we're opening 2 more jet hangars this year, and then 2 more smaller corporate hangars is what we're calling them out there. So
That would be just north of the existing key hangars.
yes, sir, of the Alpha Road right there, right up against the fence.
But so later in the year, that should drive some more fuel consumption, more aircraft.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah, probably towards the middle end of this
Yeah,
year.
that UCA school really will. I mean, they'll be running all the time. What they've got, 30 or 40 they're starting with?
Starting with 30 in the first class, and then as soon as they're out of grounds, from what I understand, they're 30 more.
Yeah, and they were hoping for 10.
They had 1,200 people sign up the first week.
Oh, my.
Now, that was indications of interest.
Yeah.
But and I think by the time they were 3 weeks in, it was like 2,000.
I think that 120 actually commit and sign up. So they're starting off with 30, put them through the ground school. That'll start in March. And then, keep funneling them in once that class is out and into the flying portion. They'll start with another 30. And
So that they're going to keep it at that level for the time being?
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
would you expect growth in that number?
They sure hope so. The building they're building is looking like they are. So we're expected. So they're building a 60 deep by 100 wide hangar. Then they're going to have a classroom off to the side with offices, cubicles, a testing area, classroom about this size.
So the footprint is 60 by 100?
Yes, sir. For the actual
Or 80, 60 feet?
60 by 100 for actual hangar, and then I forget what their
Oh,
classroom.
so it'll be a bigger footprint than 60 by 100.
Yes.
So it'll be,
Yeah.
got it.
So great year last year for fuel sales, though. It was good. Very, very happy. I guess the director's report. Do you have any questions on that?
That's good report. Yeah. I was impressed with the increase in takeoffs and landings. That's a big percentage increase,
It is.
too.
That's good. And I hope those go up again this year. I'm sure they will just with that. That all helps with, I'm fighting the FA we're trying to do a runway extension this year. So what's kind of holding us up is the amount of aircraft size that we have. Just one company that's out there right now with their bank, with the aircraft they have, fits what we need. And we have all these other companies that are flying Green Bay Packing and Sanderson Farms, these other larger aircraft. So I'm getting some justification letters for them to say, hey, look, with our growth, with these new hangars coming in, this runway will help bring in larger planes. So we need this to grow. So I don't think it's a problem. They want it to happen. It's already, they have that funds allocated. So it's just some due diligence on my part to draft up something. And
So what's the timetable for the extension?
so next year will be the 2025 will be the actual construction.
Planning this year?
Yes, sir. Planning, environmentals, the sound.
We're talking
noise.
October 1 to September 30th. Is that the fiscal year?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but all the planning, all that stuff's in the works. Environmental stuff's good and everything. So, like I said, I don't see a problem. with it at all, and I don't think they do either. I had a call with them at 12 with the FAA and our contractor or our engineer, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think it's just more justification for them to be like, oh yeah, just something.
And just curious, how do you track these takeoffs and landings?
We have a program out there.
A sensor, I guess, that's
Yep,
out there.
Yep, and I've got another computer in my little that side office.
I got you.
That just collects all the data coming in.
Mhm.
Then it records all the you guys talking on the radio, everything.
I got you.
So on your fuel cells, I assume you guys project fuel cells to do your budget and stuff.
Yeah.
And great growth in fuel cells
Sure.
in 23 over 22. How did that actual sales, how did that compare to what you guys projected? The 347 gallons of Jet A and the 69,000 gallons of avgas. How did that compare to what you guys projected?
I was 300,000 short. And it's so difficult and I feel so bad going back to city council and asking for more. And it's a good problem to have, I guess, that's how we make all our money, but it's so difficult to project how many gallons because we're just steady growing. You can look at the line chart in the bottom. It's difficult to do that. And then we have this month, which is
Did you say
super slow.
300,000 gallons short or 30,000 gallons short? Because it looks like it was 340,000 total.
Yeah. So we were 30,000
Oh,
short.
okay,
But
gotcha. I'm with you.
money wise.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I maybe didn't ask the question the right way. We sold 348,000 gallons.
Yep.
How much did you project, if you did? And if you didn't, that's okay.
I did. I'll have to go back and check.
That's okay. I was just
my
curious.
budget from 2023.
That's okay. I was just curious. Good growth is really.
I think I did like 325.
Okay.
Is what I was projecting.
Okay, that makes sense.
But
I was just curious.
I think Michael got kicked off. There he is. But like I said, it manages so difficult because some months we'll have of 2022 of August, we did 20,000 gallons. In 23, we did 30,000. So it's like,
Well, and then you get 2 weeks of bad weather
yep.
with
Yeah, exactly.
rain and fog and snow and ice and,
So it's part of it. But yeah, very happy with it. I think it'll sit around there once we kind of get more established, once this growth and all these buildings, once we're kind of established with what we have and how many aircraft we have on the field permanently, I think we'll be able to really say, hey, we're going to have 320 or 350,000 gallons, give or take 10, but it's just difficult to project what's going on. So
What does that, when we do next year, the runway extension, what does that do to the runway traffic? Do you have to shut it down quite a bit?
no, we'll just do we'll close part of the runway. It's like 500 feet maybe north of there. Because most of the construction, the groundwork's already been done on the end of 4. So we should just be able to block off like 500 feet short of that and have them turn off that taxiway before.
So your runway can stay open?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes. It'll be a major project.
So you said it'd be at the south end? That's where
It's on 4. Yeah.
How much of an extension?
500 feet.
Okay.
We're going to go to 6,001. Just a
There's
big,
something magic about the one, right?
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jet.
You don't want to do 6,000. I think Stuttgart is like 599.9 or something like that, and it's their insurance doesn't like it. That's at 6,000. Even at 6,000, it's that 1 foot. That's for
Such
some
a
reason.
different category of the jets that can land flying in
Yeah,
over there.
and their insurance love it. So I
I
don't
want that.
Yeah, don't ask me. Yeah, better make it 2 feet. Go to 3,000
Well,
too.
and
Just
if you think about being part of CAA as well, that'll make a difference in some of the bigger
Sure.
ones choosing us. So combine the 6,001 with the fuel, being competitive on fuel, that should affect that too, I would think.
Yeah. Kind of on top of that, I'm going to go with the mayor. We're going up to DC. So I'm going to go. Last year, I sent a request in Senator Bozeman's office for around $6 million to do another corporate ramp north of our corporate area there, and then add a couple other things. But so I'm going to go do that again. I'm going to go. It's nice to put a face to the name and to the request. So I'm going to go up there and shake hands and send the request right
Is that
after
here in
that.
a couple of weeks?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll be on that trip with you.
Good.
So,
I will not be going this year. I go every other year,
you
but
be there, Bill?
Yeah.
Good.
Good. Well,
that's a good trip.
more ammo in my pocket then.
It's a great trip.
Airport advisory guys there. And
Yeah.
And I can't remember the year that we did this, but we met with Bozeman one year, and he's the one that got us the meeting with the FAA
that's right.
Yeah.
that resulted in some great funding
Yeah.
that particular year.
Yeah.
And now I think we got a taxiway because of that.
Yeah.
Taxiway extension.
Yeah, Senator Bozeman has been great tour.
Absolutely. So I'm excited to go and meet them and, discuss that and see what we can do. Part of that was going to be another 100 by 100 corporate hangar next to our facility there, next to our building. It's in the,
On the north side of the terminal.
that's right. I'd like to put a restaurant in there as well, or just a space for one and then let someone come in and do it. But, there's nothing like that around. And I think Northwest Arkansas and Pine Bluff's about it for those. So I think that would be
So how would that work? How would that, a restaurant, how would that work?
similar to
Would
our
we
ground
just
lease.
contract that out
That's
to
right. Yeah, we would
somebody?
just do a ground lease for that space.
So we will have a lot, we wouldn't have a lot of risk there if someone else is doing it, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't even be contracted. It'd be probably just lease them the space and let them,
Oh, okay.
let them run,
Okay.
run everything.
Bentonville's got a really nice restaurant in their airport. And it's it's small, I don't know the size of the.
Fat and Field?
Length.
Who's that?
Of Bentonville?
Hmm.
Yeah.
They feel Louise,
Yeah.
Louise's, yeah. They probably got about a 30, maybe 50 capacity.
It's a nice place.
It's a nice place. I mean,
It'd be-
they bring,
It's
they,
just right in the center of town, so. it
that's right.
would
They bring
help.
people in from all over. I mean, they have Sunday brunch and Sundays and Saturday mornings. It's crazy busy.
Um,
And I bet the same would be true here on weekends at least.
Toad Suck Bucks is great out, they're just as far out there as we are. So, I mean, if the right person gets in there, I think it'd be pretty good.
Springdale's got, they've struggled to have stuff in and out of there, but they've got a little place in Springdale too. And they're in the airport.
I was just trying to understand if we were getting in the restaurant
No,
business.
no.
Okay, okay.
I don't think Mayor Casper
Okay.
wants to be out there flipping
Oh,
burgers.
You don't want to flip burgers, huh?
Yeah.
No, I just think that's a very risky.
Mayor, we had
Yeah,
3 people
no,
call in. We're gonna need you to come on out here.
Wash your hands, take
Yeah.
so gas.
Yeah, that's right. I'd rather pump some gas into Jeff's aircraft than go flip burgers. But I don't want to do that either. But I think it'd be a big.
Y'all ever go to Grider? You ever go to Pine Bluff and eat at Grider Field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
It's a soul food restaurant.
I've heard it's good.
It's really.
Excuse me.
Jake, I know I've asked this before. Do we have to apply for the next level of airport?
No, we don't. Once we hit the certain amount of numbers for the 3 criteria that we need, it's
It's automatic?
And what are those? I forgot.
takeoff, landings, aircraft on the field, and
There's some international flights or something.
international flights.
Takeoffs and landings. And
Yeah,
numbers.
well, it's ILA. It's instrument approaches. So takeoff, landing, and instrument approaches is like a caveat to that. Aircraft on the field, which we meet, and then international flights, which we meet. And it's
We
not.
do?
Yep.
Really?
So that takes you to a whole other level of funding and grants,
Mhm.
which is huge for,
Absolutely.
So how far are we away on takeoffs and landings?
I need you every time you go fly to North Little Rock to do a instrument approach back in.
Oh, okay.
They're all instrument approaches. Is what we're short on.
I got you.
Everything else is good. So anytime
I
I see
practice
somebody out there that
my
I haven't seen,
approaches
I
anyway.
haven't seen a lot. It's like, hey, make sure you put that as your instrument. Go, yeah. But that's what we're lacking, and it's not much. So, and I've told all my guard guys too. I don't care where you go after, but come to Conway, do an instrument approach,
Mhm.
and go somewhere else. Don't say the pattern. Just do an instrument approach and Conway. Get out of here.
it's significant, if I remember right.
Sorry, Michael.
I was just gonna say, is that when we're coming in, we should file for an instrument approach and shoot an approach every time?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so it's filed approach too?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, because that's how it clicks it for the
It's
FAA.
not a practice approaches.
But if we're coming in on an instrument flight plan, as long as we request the approach and shoot the approach with them, that counts.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Okay.
And the difference in funding is like 750 versus 250 million.
800. 800,000 to 250.
Wow.
It's big.
Yeah, I've been, so don't cancel your
Get on the ground.
don't
That's
cancel
right.
your IFR.
That's right.
When you're
And
flying
that-
over Lake Conway.
And I get it. That's
Yeah,
standard.
it is. I mean, yeah,
So,
that's good to know. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So I'll
Whenever I
absolutely
say
do.
I'll go out there and chat with people and bring that up. Try to
So it's 800,000 versus 250.
That's
is that
right.
what you said?
Yeah. From a regional to a.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, and I always cancel when I'm coming in.
Yeah, same.
What kind of quantity do we need? How many more?
I think we're a couple hundred short. Like
Okay.
we're very close.
Wow.
So and I haven't checked on it from last year.
Oh, shit, I could have done that maybe last year.
That's right. Well, thanks, Jeff. You're the reason.
I was part of the fuel, but I didn't get the instrument.
Jeff, you're killing us, man.
Yeah. Golly. We're gonna be broke now.
Well, is that something you can put signage up about and things like that for the pilots?
I don't think I can. I don't think it would be very ethical for me to
I know.
put an email. I've really thought about it and I've decided not to. I don't.
So we could like cook hot dogs and tell them if
You
you file
absolutely-
an instrument
absolutely
approach,
can.
we'll give you a hot dog.
Me as a director, my position, I don't want to do that. I don't think it's but absolutely, you guys can have that's why I try to go out to the coffee area when I see people out there. Like, hey, make sure you know. All those,
Good to know.
But I've gone back and forth in my head a few times and I really want to send an email and get a paper trail out there and someone's uncle's in the FA. I'm like, well, Director Jake's trying to beef his numbers up and have
Well,
so
tell the flight schools
yeah.
when they're training
Yeah.
to file flight plans
Yeah.
for their training.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd drive them up like that when they're doing their instrument training.
That's
No, we're
good.
definitely getting there. Something else I was going to bring up was the eclipse. I'm sure you guys are all aware of. We have a roster. We're getting some calls up there. Parking areas. So we went and measured. Me and Tim walked out and measured our area and what we could have and what we can hold safely. And I've been to a few meetings around the state with different airports and what they're expecting, what they're charging, and I can't do that. We will make money off this. I'm very conservative what we're charging. There's people not talk bad on YouTube about anybody, but I'm doing them.
Charging for parking?
We are.
Okay, yeah.
And other people
They
are too.
should.
And it's, a lot of people are charging about double of what I'm charging. But and from what I've heard, when I went to South Carolina to speak to them about it with the eclipse with the city when we went, these folks that are coming to do this, that's their hobby. Like they're eclipse gurus, right? So they're used to all of these charges. They're used to all this stuff. But I'm looking at this as, wow, we went to Conway instead of XYZ. They didn't hit me. Next time I go vacation, I'm going to stop at Conway and get gas.
Absolutely.
So we're going to treat it like that and treat them like family, like we do everybody else. And
Go for the long play, not the short play.
yeah,
I agree.
So that's my outlook on it. I hate when people take advantage of different situations personally. So
You're saying no charging?
no, we
charges
are.
up.
We are. It's just not. We're doing like for heavy
Lower
jets.
price.
So typically a landing for heavy jets, $100 is what we charge. We're going to do $200 for this event. So other people are much more than that. So, and then light jet or light aircraft but one of the reasons I have to do that is because we don't have that much parking.
Yeah.
And I don't have a bunch of restrooms and I couldn't get porta potty. There's just things. So I can't have so many people and get an unsafe situation. If rain comes in and they can't go anywhere, we're not in the middle of nowhere. So I have to think about that stuff too. So we only have a certain amount of parking spots. We only have a certain amount of facilities we can hold people. So that was just kind of our outlook on it.
I sold 75 seats on my pontoon.
Really? Hey, might as well.
Only got 8.
Stack
We're going to stack them.
Hopefully some of
We're
them
going to stack them up.
We're
If
get some
you
light.
had to, you could bring in some porta potties for the day or two, but that's all.
They're sold out.
already.
Yeah, they're gone, buddy.
Oh my.
Just like every hotel in Conway sold out too. Way
Isn't that
sold out.
crazy?
I'm Robbie
don't
doesn't
get
know
it.
this yet.
I
If
just
he's
don't.
listening, I'm going to call him. But he's got a porta potty out there for his builders,
I don't get it.
and I hope he lets me use those because I'm kind of banking on that one. But
You fly.
It's in
You
good shape.
think about that. You fly a heavy jet in for a 3-minute eclipse.
I have a prediction it's gonna be the cloudiest day on record.
yeah, and rainy. Yeah,
Could be.
yep.
You also mentioned having a temporary tower. That's still.
Their equipment went down in November, so that's scratched. I had someone else call me from another airport. Hey, I heard you got this coming. I was like, I would have. I had first dibs, but their equipment went down, so we'll be okay. We'll be in good shape. We've got a nice runway out there and long and open and safe. So we'll do the best we can with our radios and help them park. And I've got a nice plan set up where we'll be parking people safely in different areas and stuff like that. So it'll be a lot like Oshkosh is what I'm with the colors and stuff like that.
It's good. That's a good comparison.
If they do it like that successfully every year, I'm gonna put different colored blocks at each where I want them to park. So about the only thing I can do.
Are you all filled on staffing?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've got our full-time employee went part-time, Mason. He's finishing up his senior year at UCA. It was a lot for him. We could see that, so we offered him a part-time position, and then he wanted to come back full-time after school. So we're going to hire him back. So we're full.
You're good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, we've adjusted. We've got everyone trained up, so we feel confident with moving people around now on the weekends by themselves and stuff like that. So it'll give Tim a much needed break and let let those guys out there and handle everything themselves. So very good, very good outlook on how everything looks right now. So
Good stuff.
I don't really have anything else, guys. If y'all don't have any questions for me.
And that next meeting is for real. That's the next
Yep.
quarterly, right?
Yeah, I've got them all. We'll do them quarterly. It's the April 25th. And then same time, same place, but April 25th.
Was there a motion to approve the director's report?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Good job.
Yep,
Okay.
good job. We'll be adjourned. Thank y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Good stuff.
Thank you, Michael. Have a safe trip.
Who was that?
Michael,
Thank you,
what-
Greg. Sorry, I had to zoom.
Oh, you're good, brother. We appreciate you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Thank you for calling in.
All right, y'all have a good one.
You too,
Bye-bye.
sir. Bye-bye.
My neighbor.
That's Frank's.
Yeah, that DC trip's a great trip.
I've heard you.
Yeah,
It's good. I can
I've
see
heard a lot of
where
good things.
And
And
Lori and I usually both go.
Where do you move to?
This year,
I didn't know you did. I thought they moved away. Because they used to have a camper on the road, on the street every once in a while.
Right?
you know, the request last year, and
Sherry bought that house, the investment guy.
you know, I think it's good. Another
You
thing,
should be there every year.
another thing that I'd like is a big concern of mine is that
His shop's on
fuel
Hogan, you know.
that's going to the corporate
He bought that. Boy,
to pump gas.
Yeah, the other
to drive
side,
on the taxiway.
is it the doctor?
I hate
He's
that
still
so
in
much. Like,
St.
there's much needs
Which
a
is
road
Michael's brother.
from our out front taxiway.
You
over
wanted
to
to
the corporate. To
set
get
the
people-
scope up
and
wrong,
people
yeah.
drive to
Yeah.
the taxiway too
That
much to
one,
get
yeah.
their brother too, and it's not, I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
It's just an accident waiting for it to happen. Someone
Oh,
on the radio,
man.
So you talking about bridging that gully there,
That's
that
right.
just put a bridge
That's right.
in and
Yep, I'll just put a road.
like a land bridge,
That's right.
put a big culvert in a land bridge? Yeah, that shouldn't be much.
No, no, but that was part of my request too, and I think that'll.
Yeah.
But I just hate, you know, every time those trucks
Yeah.
go over there, if someone's
Yeah.
not paying attention, or they're on the radio, or a
Yeah.
pilot's on the radio, not
Yeah.
on the radio, maybe, you know, there's
Right.
a lot of stuff can happen. So I try to look at that and mitigate
Mhm.
stuff
Gotcha.
where you can. So,
Very good.
all right, guys. Well, thank y'all.
Thank you.
We'll see you in April. If I can do anything for you, let me know.
Likewise.